Shalom with you guys. I'm back at it again with another video presentation. In today's video, I want to talk about a big elephant in the room that's not being discussed in Israel. You know, it's not being discussed among all these different camps out there. I don't care if you're coming from a One West camp, if you're calling yourself an Old Testament Israelite, a New Testament Israelite, a Talmudic Israelite, a Kabbalist Israelite, an RBG Israelite, a Pan-African Israelite, an esoteric Israelite, whichever school of thought that you come from. There's a big elephant in the room that's not being discussed. And I'm talking about the Israelite woman, the black woman, those whose forefathers have the E1B1A haplogroup who came over here on Caucasus safe sleeps. I'm talking about them. And what I'm being in reference to is dealing with marriage. According to the scriptures or the laws of the Creator, okay, only virgins are qualified for marriage, period, point blank. If you're not a virgin, you're not qualified or fit for marriage. It's that simple. And we go all throughout the laws to show you many different examples. So I want to start off with Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1 to verse 4. And it says, when a man had taken a wife, okay, and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he had found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. So if a man marries a woman and he finds no favor in her and he puts her away, he will automatically give her a bill of divorcement and totally send her on her way. And verse 2 says, and when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. So you see, the scriptures allows a woman to only marry twice. And by the way, a wife is a virgin. It's that simple. A wife is a virgin, a woman who never has sex with any other man or any type of sexual activities with another man before. Okay? So when you read verse 2 again, it says, and when she is departed of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. So the Bible, the law of the Creator, only allows a woman to marry twice. So it says if the latter husband hate her for whatever particular reasons, and then write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send it her out of his house, or it be the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, cannot take her again to be his wife. After that, she is what? Defiled. For it is an abomination before Yahweh, and thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy power giveth thee for an inheritance. So if you marry a woman and you put her away, the Bible allows you or allows her to marry again. But if the second husband or latter husband puts her away, that woman is defiled now. That woman is defiled. She's an abomination in the eyesight of the Creator. And guess what? She can no longer marry after that. It's that simple. And what we got going on in this nation is you got a lot of these black women. 99.9% of the black women who come into this knowledge or this truth or called Israel are not virgins. A lot of you women have been with more than 2 men. Some of you women have been with 3, 4, 5, 20 different men. A lot of you women have been in polyandrous relationships. You don't deal with multiple 7 men on several different occasions. And many of these women got the audacity and nerve to be against polygyny. You're against polygyny. You're against the Israelite man, the black man, all right, to marry a Gentile woman or to deal with Gentile concubines. We see them requesting certain demands, when in all actuality, number one, you're not a virgin, so you're not qualified or fit to be in marriage. You're only qualified to be a girlfriend or even a concubine at best. You see, but the problem you got going on is you got a lot of these simp niggas out there in Israel. You got too many manginas. You got too many simps. You got too many beta males in Israel who allow men to marry these type of women. You allow men to marry these whores, or you allow men to marry defiled women by putting them on a pedestal and pretty much damn near worshiping them as if they're gods and goddesses. When the scriptures tells you that a woman who has been with more than two men is not qualified for marriage. She's not your wife. Okay? If the woman has been with more than two men, the black woman has been with more than than one man, guess what? She is not your wife. Period, point blank. Give a damn what anybody says. And that's what it says in the word. So I'm going to read Jeremiah 3:1. It says, they say, if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become what? Another man's. Shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But it has played the what? A harlot with many lovers. Yet return again to me, said Yahweh. Pretty much reiterating what we just read in Deuteronomy 24 verse 1 to verse 4. The fact of the matter is simply this. A woman who has slept or been with more than two men has been defiled. She's not a virgin. A virgin meaning she has never been penetrated before. She has never been penetrated before, and she's never had oral sex. So you also got this thing going on when you have a lot of these women out there who claim that they are virgins, but yeah, you already done had oral sex. You done went down on the man, slobbing out a couple times, and he done went down on you and ate you simultaneously. He already fingered you on multiple different occasions, but you want to sit there and call yourself a virgin. No, you defiled, man. You defiled, man. You see that? I'm going to go to Leviticus 21:7, and it says, that's talking about the priests. They shall not take a wife that is what? A whore or profane. Neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband, like we read Deuteronomy 24. For he is holy unto his power. So even the priests and the Levites had to marry what? Virgins. It was a requirement for the Israelite men to only marry virgins and not whores, not women who have been with more than two men. Deuteronomy 22 verse 28 and verse 29. If a man find a damsel that is what? A virgin again, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all of his days. The fact of the matter is simply this. It was required for the priests, it was required for all the Israelite men to marry virgins. Because back in the ancient times, when the time of my monarchy, you best and believe that it was very important for the men, for the Israelite men, to be with a woman that had never been with another man, a woman that was totally undefiled, man. Took her as his wife. But like I was saying today, what we got going on with all these different beta males out there, because when you check out 99.9% of these Israelite groups, they're not even teaching that in general. I don't care if you're coming from a One West perspective point of view or if you're coming from another school of thought. They're not teaching that only virgins can marry, but they're teaching and encouraging other men out there to marry whores. You see that? Exodus 22 verse 16 and 17. And if a man entice a maid, which is also a virgin that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to what? The dowry of virgins. There's no way of getting around that. Deuteronomy 22 verse 13 to verse 21, it says, if a man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, and give occasion of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I find her not to be a maid, meaning a virgin. It was a big thing back then. Why? Because according to the law, Israelite men are only supposed to marry virgins. Then shall her father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of her damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city and the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife. And he hated her. And lo, he had given occasion of speech against her, saying, I find not thy daughter's maid. And yet these are the tokens of her virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him, and they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsels, because he had brought up an evil man upon the virgin of Israel, and she shall be his wife. He may not put her away all of his days. But if this thing be true, and the woman was not a virgin, okay, and they couldn't prove the token of her virginity, all right, and the token of virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring out what the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of the city shall stone her with stones, that she die, because she hath wrought folly in Israel, to play the whore in her father's house. So shall I put away evil from among you. So if the woman was found to be playing the harlot or the whore or the hoe while living in the father's house, then that woman was supposed to be put to death, man. It was very, very serious back then, man. So the fact of the matter is simply this. A woman that has been with more than 2 men, you're not qualified to be a wife. So all these black women who want to come into this way of life, okay, you think you just want to come in and you want to rule over the Israelite men. You want to rule over the man. You want men to put you on a pedestal, to worship you as a goddess, to worship you as a god. You want to come in and be a very aggressive, very masculine, okay? You want to talk a whole lot of shit. Well, guess what? You're not qualified to be a wife. And a lot of these black women who come into this knowledge, they want to compare themselves to a Sarah. You want to compare yourself to a Rebecca. You want to compare yourself to virgins, and you're not even a virgin. So you need to just shut down and humble yourself, man. You're not qualified to be a wife. You're only qualified to be a girlfriend or concubine at best. And a lot of these women, they come in and they have multiple babies by multiple different daddies, man. You see that? Matthew chapter 19, verse 8. He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. Verse 9, and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committed adultery. And whosoever marry her, which is put away, also commits adultery. So the only way you could put away by the way, a wife, number one, is a virgin. Because a lot of Israelites, they'll use this scripture and they'll try to make it apply to these concubines that they quote unquote claim to be wives, when a wife is a virgin. So when you read that particular precept, that's talking about a virgin right here. The only way you can put away your virgin is if it be for fornication. Now you already know what fornication is when you read Leviticus the 18th chapter and Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. You see that? And when you also jump down and read Matthew chapter 5, verse 31 and 30, it says, and it had been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, a wife is a virgin, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, cause her to what? To commit adultery. In other words, if you put it away unlawfully, you're going to cause her to commit adultery also too, if she's a virgin. So you don't want to cause her to do that. You see that? And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced, also guilty of committing adultery. And that woman will be what? Will be defiled. But another thing also too that these guys are not reading is verse 30. Because when you start at verse 27, it's going all the way down to verse 31. It's talking about adultery. But when you read verse 30, it says, if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off. Thy right hand can also represent who? Your wife. So in other words, if your wife is being disrespectful unto you, she's being rude unto you, it's getting to the point where it feels though as if you're about to lay your hands on her, guess what? You have every right to put her away. You don't need to be in a position on a situation like that. You can also link that up with the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 26, by writing her a bill of divorcement. What I was trying to say and convey all throughout this video is simply this. If the woman has been with more than 2 men, she's not fit and she is not qualified to be a wife at all. You're not a wife. You're just a girl or a girlfriend. It's that simple. So with that, I'm out and I say shalom.